7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another edition of North American Harness Update. I am your host, with the Moster, Rod Adams Jr. Joining me to this side is Mike Prebozy. What up, Mike?
What up?
We've got a lot on tap tonight. A ton of races, but we're focusing on one subject tonight, and that is the Breeders' Crown eliminations from Pocono, Mohegan Sun Pocono to be specific. We will be there next weekend, by the way. Next Saturday, we'll be live for every single race, all the finals in one night. Plus, I believe there's 2 free-for-alls, invitational only events for non-eligibles. So there's going to be 14 races next Saturday at Pocono. You have to tune into this because it's going to be a huge event. Over $3 million in purse money being given away, and these are the best horses in the world. The international trot winner, how do you say his name? Whatever his name is, he's from another country. He's going to be there. Marion Marauder, Ariana G. Every world champion you can think of is going to be there. From this year, last year, every year, basically. Make sure you tune into our feed. We're going to have cam reviews from every angle you can think of. Live race feeds from our own views. We're going to have 4 cameras set up for this show, so be sure to tune in and check this out. It's going to be epic. We have a professional producer coming in to produce our show for us. We want to thank Luke for doing that for us from Woodbine Mohawk Park. He's going to be joining us live for the entire card. And Mike, you're driving in on Saturday because you don't live too far from Pocono, so you're kind of doing the day trip and then driving back home the next day. What's the difference for you anyway? What's the difference between flying in like I have to do, and you've had to do for quite a few shows, flying in and driving that 3 or so hours the day of instead of flying the day before?
I mean, it's okay. I like sleeping in my own house, and it's not bad. I mean, I don't mind traveling. I'm about 4 hours away, and I'll make the trip. I mean, it's in Pennsylvania. That's where I'm at. So I'm excited for the day. I'm excited to, it's almost like being at the Derby, kind of, being at the Breeders' Cup for thoroughbreds. It's the best horses, the best purses, and it's the end of the year honors. I mean, it's basically they're fighting it out for championships. And another thing is 15% takeout across the board, which is huge for all of us. Last year we had a great time in Indiana. We drove down there too, if I recall.
Yep.
Didn't have to fly in there. That was a little further.
Yeah.
And that was our first show last year. That was our first live show.
Yeah, this show next weekend will mark the 1-year anniversary of the first live video podcast show that we have done on all platforms. And since we're on the subject, we want to thank everybody for watching our show because we've grown exponentially in the last year to thousands of people watching our show every week via YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, our website, Twitter, everything. Our Amazon Fire TV app. Our Amazon Fire TV app, we're almost to 1,000 downloads of our app already. So thank you for downloading our app. We really appreciate it. But back to the racing. We've got a lot to do. Roughly 19 races or so, to be exact. So we're going to jump right into it. We've got just a couple minutes here until race number 7 at Pocono. And this is a Breeders' Crown elimination for two-year-olds, every race tonight is two-year-old eliminations for the Breeders' Crown. And here we've got, this is a field of 8 with Treacherous Rain taking some money. Let me look at the board here. The 3 Saint Somewhere or Street Somewhere. I don't know how you pronounce that, whichever way.
I think it's Saint Somewhere.
Saint Somewhere. 7-5 currently. Queen of the Pride, 5-2 right now. I think is a little bit over bet, but is probably a use here. The 1 Annie Hill is a horse I really like from the inside, especially you know, you get driver Brian Sears for Chris Oakes. Chris Oakes' horses love Pocono, so that would be a horse.
There's things to like about her too. She's like Pocono. You know, she has 3 starts there, 2 wins in a second. Just missed in the other race. Went to Lexington, was 3rd in the Bluegrass, no chance there. You know, was just a little bit too far back. Took a shuffle, ended up kicking 26-3. Then drew a little better in the International Stallion race and won. Kicked 27-2 home there. Draws perfect here, back home, gets Sears. A lot to like there. The horse I like, though, as a long shot is the 8. You know, this horse, you know, this is a Woodbine horse. This is the McNairs, and there's no secret. You know, I really like horses like that. But this horse was very good in the Great Lady, 2nd in the final to Tall Drink Hanover, who was on a roll at that time. Then shipped to Lexington, you know, won a division of the Bluegrass from off the pace, kicked in 26-2. That was giant. You know, then, you know, just didn't get the best trip last time in the International Stallion, but still kicked home enough to be 3rd as the favorite. And now, you know, you're getting a huge price on the outside here. So, you know, 7-1, which I think is fair enough. You know, worth the use. The value definitely is the 1, though. 5-1 right now. Nothing wrong with that one.
No. If you can't tell,
You okay, Rob?
I'm currently dying.
Currently betting the 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I got shut out.
Well, they are going, so we're going to give you the call here for race number 7, 2-year-old filly Pacers.
Slightly just to her outside there is Sylph Hanover. Meanwhile, Queen of the Pride settling in 3rd after that odd step. Meanwhile, Sylph Hanover takes the lead. Saint Somewhere launching to the outside 4th. 2 back to Cruise in 5th. Followed there by Treacherous Rain, Sweet Lucy Lou at the back, Prescient Beauty. The quarter mile 27-1. And the early leader here, Matt Kakeli and Sylph Hanover. But Saint Somewhere on the move now for Yannick Gingras. Taking over as the 8-5 favorite from Sylph Hanover. Back in 3rd, Annie Hill, single file now to Queen of the Pride, who seems to have righted the ship there, and now she steps out first over for Hall, and that was well timed by Scott Zeron, was able to pick up the cover right in stride with Treacherous Rain. Inside 6th is Cruz, 3rd over, 7th on the move, Sweet Lucy Lou, and Prescient Beauty also heads out, 4 in, 4 out, the half 56-4, 29-3 second panel, comfortable fractions indeed, as up top under wraps, Saint Somewhere by a length. On the outside, Queen of the Pride striving to get closer. Sylph Hanover still tight in the pocket there, 3rd. 2nd over on the outside now, Treacherous Rain. Queen of the Pride still a bit bobbly there. Treacherous Rain going to try to go 3 wide. Inside 5th, Annie Hill looking for positioning. 3rd over 6th, Sweet Lucy Lou. 3/4, 124-2, 27-3. Hung up on the back. Saint Somewhere extends the lead now to a length and a half. Queen of the Pride still trying hard outside. Sylph Hanover is 2 back but not threatening. And a 3 wide move coming now from Prescient Beauty. Top of the stretch. It's Saint Somewhere up by 2. It's Queen of the Pride and also Sylph Hanover trying to get closer. Up the inside, Annie Hill closing well, but Saint Somewhere has the edge, and Saint Somewhere gets home here for Yannick Gingras. Annie Hill finds room at the pylons for second photo for the 3rd spot between Queen of the Pride and the fast-closing Prescient Beauty, but Saint Somewhere...
So that was one division of the 2-year-old filly Pacers for the Breeders' Crown eliminations. Saint Somewhere gets there on the front end. And the 1, Annie Hall, like we said, we liked her. She had a ton of pace, just couldn't get through early enough. Just needed room, that's all.
The 4 really screwed that race up because, broke early in the mile and then comes first up and was, bobbling all over the racetrack, killed the outside, enough for the 3 to get separation. And then, a horse like the 8 who raced extremely well. I would love to see that horse in the final get a better post because that horse was excellent tonight. I mean, off that bad flow, 3 wide very early, coming around that last turn, it was kicking, was firing home to just miss. So watch out for that one next week. I'll definitely be on that one next week.
Yeah, I think both the 1 and the 8 are good picks for next week. But you can't just miss Saint Somewhere. She was really good. And, she still had a lot left.
It was that well-driven winner, you have to say.
Yeah.
But
She's not going to get that half in the final, but she still definitely plays in the final. So I think you got to use her there. We're going to move on to the next race, race number 8 at Pocono.
And this is tonight again.
This is tonight. 2-year-old filly pacers. This is the other division, one of the other divisions. Yannick Gingras picked the 8 over the 7, which I think is a pretty obvious choice coming off of a world record mile. The 8 Warwee U-Butte, 148-3 over at Lexington at the Red Mile. She was flawless in that mile. I did notice one thing there that I probably won't get brought up, but if you rewatch that race, Yannick had to pull her when he did because she was going to make a break if she sat in the hole any longer. She was just raging with pace. She kind of tossed her head up and got a little bit steppy, and Yannick tipped her out at the perfect time to avoid making a break there. She doesn't have a ton of gate speed, but she can get off the car a little bit. She just has to get in the right spot, I think. For her, getting cranked up early is an issue because I think she's a filly that you just can't shut down yet. So
well, here's the thing about her, though. Okay, so she comes off the 48-3. Okay, now draws the 8 hole here in an elimination race where she really only needs to be in the top 4 to make the final. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or top 5, whatever it is. So,
what is it?
I'm not sure how many divisions we have
top
here.
Top 4. It's the top 4 plus 1 5th place finisher.
Second division of 2. So, okay. So, irregardless, what is the intent here? I understand that she's probably the best horse, but, coming off that gutting mile, those last 2 races are extremely big. She's been known to lose before. She's lost to worse horses in the past. The post doesn't help her any. She's going to be 1 to 5 in here. I really feel like if you're going to beat her, this is the chance to beat her. And there's horses in here that can beat her, especially, a horse like the 2, Tall Drink Hanover, raced extremely well at Lexington. Won the the Great Lady at Woodbine. This horse is 6 for 9 on the year and has been excellent. That 50-mile last time at Lexington was very good. She's, especially with her post, she's legitimate. 0 Tolerance is somehow 15-1 morning line. And this horse is capable. She's been right there all year. 7 of 10 has made 250,000 top connections. She was 3rd in that big race and really had no chance to catch, the horse because, she kicked 26-3. Well, this one kicked home 26-4. She's done well in the smaller tracks in the past. That 15-1 morning line is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. 0 Tolerance was a filly at the start of the summer. If you remember, I texted you and Ray after I watched her qualify, and I said, holy crap, this is an unbelievable filly if she can last through the summer.
Well, look, she opens a favorite. She's 3-2 on the board. Which
yeah, the morning line is not. You're not getting anywhere close to what you're getting on that morning line. But with Warwee U-Butte, she's kind of a funky filly. That's kind of what I was getting at. She's a funky type of filly. She's extremely fast. Obviously, she's the world record holder for both male and female 2-year-olds. So, I mean, you can't fault her too much. She's extremely fast. It's just keeping it intact.
Well, I'm not faulting her necessarily, but it's circumstances. I mean,
yeah,
you
she's
come
got
off
the
a world
8-hole.
record race. There's no. I mean, do you really think she's going to go up from there? Unlikely.
No, I mean you can't go up much from what she did at Lexington.
And I don't like betting horses off races like that, where they've been, you know, pretty much pushed to the absolute max of their potential. You know, that, I mean, regression, it has to come. Now, could she be good enough to win with a regression? Of course. I mean, but bounces happen in standardbred racing the same as they do in thoroughbred racing. I mean, and that's one thing I think that goes overlooked. Even though they race every week, the bounce is still an extreme possibility. So, you know, why would Yannick try to gut her from the 8-hole here when the big money's on the line next week? So I just expect a fairly even race from this horse. Could that be good enough to win it? Absolutely. But do you really want to take, you know, sub 2-1, sub even money on the horse? I don't.
No, I agree. I would be looking elsewhere. Zero.
The 4 is a great bet in the race as far as I'm concerned right now at 4-1. You get 4-1 of the 2, run to the window.
Yeah, you're not getting that. No shot.
Well, you're getting it right now.
Like we both agree on Zero Tolerance. She deserves to be bet here. She's hit the board in every single start of her career thus far, and she's made $250,000. You cannot fault her in any way. The 2 Tall Drink Hanover, a little bit overvalued right now. You're not getting anywhere close to that at post time, I don't think, anyways.
If the money comes for the 8, you might.
Well, she's just been incredible. She's got a huge post advantage. She's got early speed. She's very handy.
Yeah, and she's not coming out of a 48-mile either.
Well, she's very handy.
That's another thing.
I mean, she's very handy, and she goes what she needs to go. And, you know, she's another one. She's extremely fast. But I think the difference between her and Warwick U-Butte is that she's got the ability to follow horses or be chased. You know, she can fend horses off on the front, or she can just chase them the whole way and go by them late. She's proven that already. And from the inside post, she's kind of got options, so she can just sit outside and try to trickle away at the leader, whoever that may be. I think the 1's going to fire pretty hard. The 4's probably going to go, and maybe even the 6. I don't see the 5 leaving. I don't think she's quite good enough to go with these. But she did race well at Lexington, but I just think she's a little one step below these. This is by far the best elimination race of the entire weekend, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole weekend?
Yeah, of the whole weekend, because you've got 4 horses in here that are legit win contenders. Whereas a lot of these eliminations, there's only 1 or 2 horses that you can look at and say, this horse should win this race, or can win this race. Legitimately. Like, if I wanted to make a win bet, I could only bet a few horses, 1 or 2 horses per race, you know, that aren't going to be 4 to 5 or less. So,
I don't know. I mean, I think that there's value other places, but I mean, it's
there is. I'm not saying there's not value
other
other
race.
places.
I'm not sure if it's the best race of the weekend, but it's good. It's good enough.
It's a very good race. It's a good betting race. We'll put it that way, because you're going to get a little bit of value on any horse that you like, honestly. And ignore that.
Betting race is the 7th at Woodbine that's coming up right now, but I mean it's good.
Ignore the 15-1 morning line on zero tolerance, because that's completely wrong. So you have to just ignore that with the betting, because this filly should be bet pretty heavily in this race.
What do we have in here? Just the bracket try supers. They have dime supers too. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, a lot of people that watch our show. Yeah, a lot of people that watch our show are the smaller bettors, and those 10-cent supers you can put a lot of combinations together for pretty cheap in those.
I don't mind dime supers, especially in these bigger races, because you can get some chaos, you can get some prices underneath.
Yeah, and with the 15%, again, 15% takeout across all pools.
Which is a half, pretty much half to even almost more than 50% of the typical Pocono takeout. So
yeah, you're getting great value on your bets. For any bet you make. Any bet you make is 15% takeout across the board for all Breeders' Crown eliminations and finals. So, and I believe consolations as well. So, get your bets in.
It's for every race.
Yeah, this is every single race. So, with that, as I continue to die, we're going to go to the next race. We're going to talk about the next race because we got a ton of races to talk about. I don't know if I told you. There's like 19 races, 19 eliminations that we got to go through. Race number 9.
It's a lot of races.
Yes, race number 9. This is a 2-year-old filly trot elimination. This is, there's 3 divisions of this. This is the last division. The other 2 divisions were earlier tonight, which were before our show aired. So, with this 3rd division, top 3 make the final. So, you got to keep that in mind as you're making these wagers on these elimination races. Look at how many have to make the final. Top 3, you really have to race these 2-year-old trotting fillies because you got to make that final. So, you know, we got a field of 7 here. A little bit shorter field. But you have extreme talent. The Ice Duchess, the 4-horse that's tacked there in Gingras, Cloud9 Fashion, Jim Campbell, Tim Tetrick, and When Doves Cry, who won the International Stallion race at Lexington last time for the Allard group. Another race a few horses can win.
Yeah, I mean, there's, quite a few that can win this. The 7 looks like, she's improving quite a bit. Went from, a 59 mile to win that late closer to, a 52-3, albeit with a perfect trip, but, beat some legitimate horses there. And the connections are obvious. They always do very well at Pocono. The 6 Cloud9 Fashion, this horse was 6 for 6 until, ran into these 2 the last time and raced well enough, just couldn't quite reach late. I'm curious, I feel like the 5/8 track doesn't hurt her, and, whereas you're not really sure how the 4 is going to go. So she could have an advantage here for sure with her style, but she kind of sits off a little bit. And, the Ice Duchess is going to do, what she always does, and that's get the front and try to hold on for dear life. She has a post edge over the other 2, and, look what happened in the last race with Yannick. I mean, he got the front, backed him down, and kicked away, and that's going to be the plan in here. The 1 and the 2 are 2 interesting Woodbine horses, especially the 2 who, raced extremely well if you look on September 25th in a gold at Flamborough. Don't pay attention to the time. More, the horse won from the 8-hole at Flam in a gold. That was giant, and then ran into Presto Changeo 2 back. That horse is extremely good. And then the super final, really couldn't get out of his, her own way and broke and just pitched that race completely out. This horse draws well, gets Brett Miller, has shown that she can get around the smaller track, and you're going to get a big price. So if you're looking for a price, you could do a lot worse than the 2 in there.
I don't see her winning. I could see her hitting underneath.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that she can win. I mean, those other 3 are pretty, solid stakes horses. But, she gets a post switch. She's done well on the smaller track, and she's going to be moving late. I like the driver change. I mean, there's things to like there.
And a horse is pretty special when Tim Tetrick takes off a Linda Toscano trained horse, especially a 2 or 3-year-old. He opted for the 6 Cloud9 Fashion for Jim Campbell over the Five Sisters Promise. So that right there tells me the Cloud9 Fashion is a step above the Five Sisters Promise. So for me, if I'm betting this race, I really like When Doves Cry again. If you remember back to the Lexington show at the Red Mile, I was on this filly there. I think I showed you guys a ticket. I bet her to win, and I ended up catching the exacta there for $5. I made quite a bit of money in that race.
Wow.
And I can't remember if I showed you guys that ticket or not, but she's a nice filly. She needs to be covered up early on, I think, but you know, she knows the racetrack. She's raced there quite a few times this year already, and other than having the outside post, I think she's going to be able to work out a trip here. And I think Simon Allard could probably leave with her. The Ice Duchess, she doesn't have early gate speed per se. She's more of a quarter move type of filly, and that to me is going to be the key here. Whoever gets behind her is going to have the biggest shot to win the race. Whether that be the Five Sisters Promise or the 7 When Doves Cry, I think one of those two are going to end up in that spot. I'm hoping that it's the 7 When Doves Cry, gets to the lead, and then lets the Ice Duchess go past the quarter pole. That's where she's going to make her move. And that's the way that I think if he can sting her enough going to the half, then I think Simon Allard can win this race with that same type of trip that he gave her down at Lexington. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go 7, 4, and 6 there. A little bit chalky, but I'm going with the third choice to win the race over the top 2 choices. Race number 10 tonight at Pocono is the second of 3 2-year-old colt pacing eliminations. Top 3 make the final. And here you got to field the 7 once again. There's Proof, who finished third with a big first over mile last time at Lexington in the International Stallion. You got Captain Crunch, who tripped out to win that race. Yacht Week, who came flying from the back for Christian Lynn and Stefan Lynn in his division there. Lots of variables in this race. Wide open race. Where are you going, Mike?
I mean, I think it is difficult. You know, I don't mind the one in the race, and that's Semi-Tough, who, you know, raced very well in the Metro, ran into Stag Party a couple times. No chance. I mean, this horse is 1 for 9, but if you look at, you know, some of the horses that he's faced, that you could, you know, and I think you like this horse in the Metro Final a little bit. You know, he has excuses. I mean, he's certainly made a lot of money. He's done very well over the 5/8 mile track. I like the draw here for him. I think that he can use his speed quite a bit to secure position. And, you know, this could be the kind of race that, you know, he could win, being that it is an elimination, and, you know, some of the other ones are drawn outside and are going to have to kind of run at him to get there. I feel like he controls it. I feel like that he has a, you know, very much price potential. And the other ones are inconsistent. I mean, Captain Crunch couldn't, you know, do anything in some of those stakes at Woodbine. And like you said, tripped out to win at Lexington. Proof, you know, is another one for Brian Brown, who, you know, raced well at Hoosier, raced well, you know, from the outside of the Meadows in that PD's Irish Stakes final. But
we're going to time out here, Mike. Race 8 is going right now.
A money shot Hanover on the inner half, starting well. Right alongside her to the inside. Tall Drink Hanover is close up. And now Zero Tolerance moves up. But it's money shot Hanover, clear lead. Zero Tolerance going to try to move on and take over there with Tall Drink Hanover in the pocket. Followed there by Art Lecture. War We You Butte is 5th. He seemed a bit rough gated there, but now seems okay. 6th is Beauty on the Beach. Followed there by Renaissance Lady K in the trailer. She's all right. Bit of a logjam up front. Soon as Zero Tolerance takes over the lead, lead. The quarter was 26-4. She's got company in the form of Tall Drink Hanover. Andrew McCarthy and Tall Drink Hanover taking the lead now from Zero Tolerance. Third on the inside, Money Shot Hanover, followed there by Art Lecture. Were We a Beaut? 4-5 favorite is 5 back and going to go first over and get parked around that clubhouse turn. Meanwhile, Doug McNair follows up with Beauty on the Beach. Then comes Renaissance Lady K in 7th. The trailer, She's All Right. The half mile 56-2, 29-3 second panel. And all of a sudden, coming to life on the outside, Were We a Beaut? Going head-to-head with Tall Drink Hanover. Takes a slight lead here for Gingras. The top two draw away by 2.5 from Zero Tolerance. Another 2.5 back to Money Shot Hanover. Nothing yet on the outside. 5th there from Beauty on the Beach. Further back to Art Lecture, Renaissance Lady K in the trailer. She's All Right. Were We a Beaut? Trying to clear. Tall Drink Hanover is digging in 3/4, 122-4. They picked up to 26-2 on the back. Were We a Beaut has not been able to get past the gutty effort of Tall Drink Hanover. Meanwhile, Zero Tolerance sneaking up for David Miller. Top of a stretch, Tall Drink Hanover has rebuffed Were We a Beaut, but now Zero Tolerance on the inside is there. Tall Drink Hanover and Zero Tolerance going at it. Tall Drink Hanover, she's going to hold off Zero Tolerance in a huge effort here. Zero Tolerance, a good fight for second. Then coming up was Beauty on the Beach third, while Were We a Beaut salvages fourth, and Tall Drink Hanover picks up a gritty, gutty win in 151-3.
Yes, okay. What do we talk about there? You know,
that was a battle on the backside.
What's that?
That was a battle on the backside.
Oh, yeah. That was a great drive, though. I mean, he knew what he had the whole way.
Yep.
You know, Amani took a run at her, and she just kept on going. And, you know, that's what happens when you get a horse that comes off a world record that has to, you know, rough it first up. What's going to happen? Well, she's going to go backward.
That's why I said she's kind of funny to drive. She's a very funky type of horse, but she's extremely fast. And she got steppier on that first turn, like I thought she might, because she did it at Lexington too. And Yannick had no choice but to get her out of the hole there. So we were right on with that race.
Yeah, I mean, 2-6, cold-blooded.
Back to race number 10 for tonight at Pocono. You were talking about Proof.
Yeah, so anyway, you know, it's Brian Brown. You know, this horse has a lot of class, obviously, too. I mean, a lot of these horses have won a lot more than they've lost, and trip's going to matter a lot. You know, but, again, a little bit inconsistent. You know, I'm very curious. You know, and in 10 is another big thing, so I prefer the 1 in the race. I could see the 5 certainly winning it, but, you know, it's probably some sort of 1-5-4 for me.
I kind of agree with you. My top pick is going to be the 4, Captain Crunch, just because of the early speed. I think he...
You think that the horse beats the 1 to the front?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he gets the lead, and he's going to be tough to beat. The 1 definitely can win the race sitting the 2-hole. No doubt about that. The 5 Proof, that's a little bit of a question mark just because I'm not sure that he's not going to end up first over in there. It's a tough spot, but I think he can make the final. I don't know that he can win this race. I think Dave Miller, you know, you're getting one of the best. So Dave Miller is likely going to try to just drive for the final. If he ends up first over, I don't see him pushing too hard. And the other good thing is, with the 1 and 4 both going out of there, he's got a stablemate right inside of him, the 3-horse Smooth Lou, who's going to be, you know, right there with him. So I think they can kind of work together to try to make a game plan to get to the finals. And I just don't see him beating Captain Crunch in this race because he's going to be on the lead. He's the one to catch, and he can absolutely sprint home if he gets any kind of fractions his way. So I'm going to go forward with the 1-5 there. I don't see anything else coming in. The other one, maybe if they happen to get crazy on the front end where the 1 doesn't want to let the 4 go, would be the 7. Shake That House, coming from the back. That's where he's going to be. He's going to be off the pace, so I would use him just, for one of those just-in-case scenarios.
Well, that really, I mean, so far that hasn't been the place to be at all, and it usually isn't at Pocono.
No.
So, he's going to have to overcome a lot, I think. We'll see.
Well, race 11 is the 2-year-old colt Trotters. First 4 and 1 5th-place finisher based on highest money earnings this year make the final. This is the 2nd division. First division was earlier tonight. Here we got another field of 7, and to me, I'll start this one off. The rail horse is very curious because he doesn't show a lot of gate speed. He doesn't get off the gate that well, so I think you got to kind of expect him to be making a first over move here. That's kind of the way I see him racing in here. I don't know that he's quite up to par with some of these, but I think he's going to be close enough to be able to make the final. So I'm going to use him that way. The 2 green Manalishi, I like his chances. He's got the inside. He's got a little bit of gate speed. Tim Tetrick stays on. He's won 3 of his last 4. I mean, he's extremely sharp. I don't see why you don't use this horse on top in any of your tickets. He's been really good, and inside post, he's going to be firing toward the front. And then the 5, Cantab Fashion. I really like him. He's 5 for 5 in his career. He gets around the small track well. Dave Miller stays on for Jim Campbell. I mean, he's been to Pocono. He's got 2 wins at Pocono already, and those were against kind of cheap horses, but he's really stepped his game up the last 3 races, racing in the Kindergarten, the Bluegrass, and the International Stallion race. I mean, you cannot fault this colt yet. He's proven time and time again that he's up to the task of racing against anybody, and with his recent efforts, I see him being right there for the Breeders' Crown, not only in the elimination, but the final as well. So those are my top 3.
Well, if you watch that race, that International Stallion race, where these, the 2 and the 5 raced against each other, that was one of the better races of that day. And, this Cantab Fashion was one of the most impressive winners against the racetrack. I mean, the front end was not very good there that week, And, this horse just kept on going and really never looked like a loser with a legitimate animal chasing in the 2. I think that was one of the, even with all the track records and things, this was one of the more impressive races of the weekend. And this horse is very, very good. I'm very curious what the price is going to be here, because I feel like that, this horse is better than these and should control the race. I like the 2. I've always liked the 2. I think he's a very good horse, and he's 8 for 8 in the exacta. And he has a post edge here, and that'll help him. But I don't know, and the Pocono might help him too. I'm not sure if he's as good as the 5 is right now. I feel like it's those 2. I don't have anything clever here whatsoever. I just feel like these 2 are head and shoulders above. And, if you want to fill out the try, I don't mind the 6. Jameson is, for him to ship this horse away from Woodbine out of a non-winners of 1 to Lexington and pick up 2 massive checks against horses that are very good, what they think of this horse. And the fact that he's here, he's extremely improved. He's had, post issues, comes from the back, but this horse was airborne last time and nearly caught King's Country in that race. I like this horse. I like his improvement, and I feel like that this horse could be dangerous next week, even in the final, just because of the improvement, the connections. You're going to get a price. So those would be my 3 there.
I don't mind the 6 there at all. I would throw him on underneath.
I don't know if he can win it, but I mean, he's, I feel like the top 2 are much better, but that's a horse that needs to bear watching a little bit.
Race number 12, because we're rolling through these tonight. How many minutes do we have for race 9? 4 minutes to race 9, so about 9 minutes to race 9.
At least.
This is the 3rd division of the 2-year-old Colt Pacers. We've got another field of 7 here. And, Mike, why don't you start us off here?
Well, I think Stag Party scratched. And that horse would have probably been 1 to 5 in here. So that makes it a lot more wide open, and could set it up for a horse like the 7 working on a mystery. Moves inside. Brian Brown 5 for 5, crushed at Lexington last time at 1 to 9, kicking home 26-3. So if you look at this horse's final quarters, this horse is extremely good. Maybe hasn't faced the top ones, but hard to fault. 5 for 5, never lost, and a lot of speed there. The 2's interesting. Captain Trevor. This horse stayed at Lexington, ended up in the Kentucky Sire Stakes, which weren't bad races, and then kind of benefited from the track a little in that International Stallion coming from behind, but still 5 for 7 lifetime. Draws well. Top connections. Hard to ignore that one. Those would be my 2. Then you always have Tactic Dingrad, but this horse hasn't seemed to have been finishing miles quite as well and losing to some of the top ones. I would be 7 and 2.
I agree with you on the 7, working on a mystery. Brian Brown trained, Tim Teacher driven, has been extremely good and kind of seemed like a late bloomer for the year. Didn't start until the end of August. So, kind of missed his opportunity on the Sire Stakes races. But, man, has he really impressed me recently. I didn't get a chance to talk to Brian about this particular colt down at Lexington. But, this is one that I think he's very opportunistic about for the end of this year and going into next year. And we will definitely be talking to him next week about this colt, what he thinks. He got a bad draw, but I don't mind it. He's got early speed. He can get out of the gate as quick as any of them in here. So I'm going to use him along with the 1 Lieutenant. Inside draw, he should be sitting up close. He doesn't win. I mean, he's 0 for 10. But this is still a nice colt. Just needs to work out a trip and stay close. Inside post is really going to help his chances to make the final. And then I think the other one, if Stag Party scratched, is he scratched?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see. Okay, so Stag Party's out. I like Blood Money and Sugar Factory kind of evenly in this race. So between the 2 of them, I think whoever gets the best trip out of the 2 of them is the other horse that makes the final here. This is another race that's just really tough. But
right now, Ice Duchess is 1 to 5 somehow.
Wow.
Cloud9 Fashion 7 to 1. When Doves Cry 7 to 2. At Pocono. The long shot I like there, Tommy, Can You Hear Me, is 36 to 1. Can definitely fill out tickets, I think.
It's a little short there on the Ice Duchess. I do not like that price.
2 to 5. I mean, and the pick 4 is rock low, too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. They're just now post-breeding for race 9 at Pocono.
7 looks good on the track, too.
Very good. That was my top pick.
Yeah, I mean, she looks real good. And she could trip out here, depending on how it goes. You don't know how the Ice Duchess is going to get around this track, either. I mean, that's I think that that's a legitimate question.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it's a tactor filly.
She's thrown in breaks before. Remember on Hambo Day she broke. Up at Woodbine she broke. Now you're going to get the smaller track. And she's drawn well too every time lately. This middle of the gate here is good, but I'm curious if he's going to fire her or not. I'm very curious what he's going to do with the 7 in the race. Is he going to be firing right out after? Maybe. Interesting.
I think he probably goes with the 7 here. She's got the gate speed. There's not really much other gate speed in this race, so she would be one that I'm definitely using on top. And you're getting 7-2 right now. So why not take a shot with her? I mean, she definitely fits here. Now, Mike, let me ask you, if you were playing this race as a novice bettor, for the novice bettor, what would you be playing here to try to make the best profit for the least amount of money?
I think it varies on what you like in the race. Do you think that the 6 or 7 can win? Then it's maybe worth taking a win bet, especially if the 4 remains 2-5 or 1-5. If you think that you can get value there, if you like the 4 to win it, then I would be trying to maybe do some cold exactas. I mean, if you look at the exactas, a 4-6 is $10, 4-7 is $8. You could pound one of those. The horse I like is a long shot. It's the 2. A 4-2 is $68. Now, can the 2 get second? Maybe, maybe not. You could play triples too if you like the 4 on top. Now with this 15% takeout, the trifectas aren't nearly as bad a bet as they might have been, with the double takeout there. So I might be more willing to punch a trifecta because of that takeout and that difference. A lot of times I won't play tries because the takeout's too high.
Yeah.
There's just no value there. Whereas now it's universal for everything. And in a race like this, it becomes a little more attractive to me. So the 2 at 46-1 is too low. Do I think he can win it? No, but I really think that he has a better chance than that in this race.
I agree.
He shouldn't be that price, especially with the small track prowess. He's just being ignored because people think that the times are slow, and they might be. But I'm interested in that horse filling out 3rd or 4th for sure.
I want to give a couple shout-outs here to people that are watching online right now. Robbie Srantz, Blake McIntosh, winner of the Little Brown Jug, shout-out.
Nice.
Sean Smith-Peters in California. John Polvanale, who runs Harness Racing History on Facebook.
Nice.
Moira Fanning, who is in charge of the Breeders' Crown operation and the Hambletonian operation. Rob Ridoff from Chicago. Al Nash, who was on our show.
Watching tonight.
What's that?
I said a lot of people watching.
Yeah. Al Nash, he was watching.
People watching.
Shout out to Al Nash, who was on our Hambo show.
Nice. He's watching too?
Yeah.
So,
we get love from everywhere. Ray's not watching. Ray doesn't care.
Damn it, Ray.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
But there's 0 minutes to post for race number 9 at Pocono. This is the 2-year-old Trot fillies. 2-year-old filly Trot. Field of 7 here. Current favorite behind the gate is the 4 the Ice Duchess.
The Ice Duchess, like the Ohio State University.
No, F that. You retarded Ohio State University. My top choice, the 7, When Doves Cry. Mike, top choice real quick.
I think I like the 6 best. So Cloud9 Fashion, 4-1, the best price of the three.
All right, we're on
and
to 6
for
and 7.
underneath, long shot, the 2.
Here we go, race 9.
Reach the back stretch. And they are underway when Doves Cry comes out aggressively on the outside, quickly to the front. Going to roll to the pylons, 3 lengths in front of the pursuit. Cloud9 Fashion out 3 wide into second. The Ice Duchess in between horses at the moment is 4.5 away. On the inside, Set Dale. And 2 more back to 5th, and Fate Smile, followed there by Sister's Promise in the trailer. Tommy, Can You Hear Me is 10 off the pace as When Doves Cry is out by 3 to the quarter-mile marker, 26 and 4. When Doves Cry, no joke early here for Simon Large. She is up by 3 full lengths over her closest competitor, Cloud9 Fashion. The Ice Duchess at 1-2 sits third. Nobody in panic mode yet in the pursuit, but still a big lead for When Doves Cry. 4th on the inside, Set Dale, then 2 back to Fate Smile, and at the back, Sister's Promise, and the trailer, Tommy, Can You Hear Me? The field now tightening up on When Doves Cry, but she leads it here to the half-mile marker in 56 and 3, 29 and 4, second panel. Wind has picked up just a bit. It's helping him on the back stretch. The lead belongs to When Doves Cry. Allard not asking for anything at the moment. Loose pocket trip there for Cloud9 Fashion. The Ice Duchess trying to rev up third. She's 3.5 away. 2 back to Set Dale, and then gaps to Fate Smile and Tommy, Can You Hear Me? Ostride at the back and out of its Sister's Promise. When Doves Cry coasting and still up by 2.5, maybe 3. 3/4, 124 and 3, 28 even, third panel. When Doves Cry trying to take them all the way around. Now the Ice Duchess drawing nearer. Inside, Cloud9 Fashion is to within 2. Set Dale looking to pounce late fourth, but she's still 4.5 away. Top of the stretch, When Doves Cry, and still Allard not lifting a finger here. Cloud9 Fashion, the Ice Duchess are all out, and When Doves Cry has an answer for them tonight. When Doves Cry, stellar up front for Simon Allard, wins it by 2 comfortable lengths. Second was the Ice Duchess. Tight photo for the third spot between Fate Smile and Cloud9 Fashion, but it was all When Doves Cry tonight. This is what it sounds like indeed in 154 flat.
Good pick there.
Bang, bang! There's another one.
Easy winner. You could tell that they were going. I mean, like they were. That horse never looked like a loser the whole way around.
No, we caught her in
The race
post
was
parade.
over after. Seriously, 4 steps into the race, it was over.
Never even pulled the
He never even-
earplugs.
He didn't even ask the horse.
He never pulled the plugs.
No. And the 6 was right there and just went, no.
This exacta is $21.
7-4 is $21.
Yes,
Wow.
I got it
That's
for
okay.
$10.
I caught the pick 4. That was okay.
Bang, bang. What did that pick 4 pay? That was an easy pick 4. $137.
Like $250, something like that.
$137 pick 4. That was very easy to have.
Yeah. Well, I had it, so it was good. It was easy.
Yeah, I got shut out. Right when the gate folded, I got my ticket in and got shut out.
If we could have got the 1 in instead of the 3 in that second rear, that could have been, it probably has doubled that, maybe triple.
Wow, that's crazy. $137 pick 4. Make sure.
Anyway, we got, what, you want to do a break now and then go into Saturday? Because it's probably a good time for that.
Yeah. First, before we go to break, make sure you are watching next week, because last year at the Breeders' Crown we gave out all kinds of winners, prices, exotics, everything.
Prices again tonight. Look at the prices
Yeah.
we've given tonight
We
already.
just gave you
Right
a
there on
$9
every
winner
race.
at Pocono. Bang, bang. Again. I keep giving out 9-1. Half a 9-1, which is 7-2. Like, come on.
That's half a 7-1, but it's all right.
That's what I said. All the prices. The prices are there. We're giving out prices. That's what we want to do. Those of you that cannot read a program, that's why we're here. We're here to help you.
All of that, give you, we kind of set the race up and give different scenarios, and, this was a very logical scenario. You know, a lot of these favorites in these eliminations are just that. They're just not, you know, necessarily trying whenever you hate to say that, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the intent you have to consider when you're looking at these races, and we say it all the time. And a lot of these horses that raced huge at Lexington are coming back here and, you know, maybe not racing quite as well because, you know, they gutted themselves down there. So all that stuff needs to be paid attention to.
Shout out to Sugar Doyle. He says NAHU was all over it in the first leg of the pick four. My second choice won. You can find all our selections, NAHUpicks.com.
Woodbine, Meadowlands, Western Fair, and we're doing this right now. That's a lot of races.
Yeah. We get stuff done. Bang, bang, winner, winner. Chicken dinner.
All free. All free.
With that, we're going to break. We'll be back in like a minute, maybe 5, maybe 3.
Well,
I don't know.
Better.
We'll see.